Now, one of the biggest discussions this season for Arsenal has been the goalkeeper situation. Arsenal decided to buy David Raya on a loan with a permanent option to buy for 30 million, dropping fan favourite Aaron Ramsdale to the bench. Now, there's been a lot of criticism of David Raya's performances, especially the fact he's conceded a lot more goals than he should have, and Arsenal have the best XG defence in the league. But has David Raya actually been costing Arsenal, or has there been other problems at fault? Now, usually swapping goalkeepers wouldn't be that big of a deal. Sometimes when Leno came in and Ramsdale proved himself, people could understand it. Ramsdale was young and made a lot of great performances for the team. But Aaron Ramsdale is a big reason why Arsenal are even in the Champions League places and even came second last season. He had a brilliant season and showed great shot stopping and brilliant long passing. It's not even just his performances, his character, how he was outside of the game. It just made for a much more lovable guy, and everyone liked him, taking the mick out of away supporters in every game. That, coupled with the fact that no one believed in Aaron Ramsdale when we spent 26 million on him, and with his 2 relegations definitely had bad rep. When he proved everyone wrong, everyone was very happy, and he definitely became a mainstay in the team. Now, undoubtedly, there's been games last season where Ramsdale really saved us. I think about Liverpool, he was insane in that game and made 2 crucial saves at the end to get us that draw. In the end, it didn't really matter, but that's not the point of his performance. However, I do think because Ramsdale is liked so much by the fans of the club, people are there and easily forget what he has done, the mistakes he has made. Now, this is necessarily not a bad thing. Every player makes mistakes, but when a goalkeeper makes it, it means a lot more. And I think about the Southampton game when he just passed them the ball, and there was many games like that. And starting this season, Arsenal 4 games in, he had made the most mistakes in Europe and kept giving the ball away in poor circumstances. I don't know if a lot of managers would have got rid of him though. He still had a lot of potential and he still does. He should be England's #1 but hasn't been given that opportunities. He's still quite a lot younger than David Raya actually is. It's no surprise that Arteta still wanted David Raya though. He said that if he gets any opportunities in the transfer market, he will take it and buy a player. And he wanted David Raya before he bought Ramsdale, and Ramsdale was kind of the second option. And this was when David Raya was still in Brentford's championship team. Now, with how much everything matters and all of the signings that Arteta has made this season have come off a lot of criticism, especially Havertz and Raya, there's been a bigger spotlight on them. And when David Raya made 2 mistakes against Luton and in the end we got away with it, it really came to fruition that everyone was not happy with his performances. And I think overall he's actually been better than people think. He's definitely been nervy in especially the big games. He definitely struggles with getting pressed very highly. But people need to realise that at Brentford he did not play this sort of game. At Brentford they mostly were a long ball side, looking for Tony with them long goal kicks. This means David Raya's long passing is very good. I know Ramsdale's is very good, he proved that in the FA Cup, but Raya's is still very good and it's been improving very much over the week. Not only is his kicking really good from long range, his throwing is really good. He's very accurate from long throws and he's very quick. That long throw he did against Crystal Palace to get us on the break to get off per goal was a brilliant executed pass, and you can see that is really what his talent is. But when he is getting closed down very quickly and has to do short passing, he is going to make mistakes. The idea around him, and I've said this before, is that Raya is supposed to be better at Ramsdale than every single part of the game other than short passing, but his looks to improve in the future because if he's good at long passing, you expect him to get better at short passing. And the more he's been playing with his team, the more comfortable he's been getting with the defence. He has getting better at slow passing and short passing. Obviously there is still nervous there. He gets nervous in big games and sometimes when it matters, but overall he's done enough to repay them things. The big stat that everyone always brings up on is the fact he has the lowest save percentage in the league, and that is necessarily true and it probably will get higher, but Arsenal aren't conceding very many shots. We've got the lowest XG against in the league and we should be conceding the least amount of goals, yet we've conceded a few more than Liverpool. Now this doesn't obviously help him because this does make him look bad, but this isn't always his fault. Arsenal are only conceding around 1 to 2 shots a game on target and it ends up going in because of the usually poor defending that we do for one moment in the game. For instance, against Liverpool when Salah scored, it was really poor by Zinchenko. Or when we conceded against Nottingham Forest, it was a straight one-on-one because Saliba made a mistake, no chance for the goalkeeper. And now while this is true, there's obviously moments as also he should have saved, such as Barkley against Luton and that corner from Luton, he definitely should have saved them too. And there's been other moments where you've got to think he should have saved it. But Aaron Ramsdale weren't saving everything he should have last season. He made some phenomenal saves. I think that one against Bournemouth and against Liverpool was insane. But there was still a lot of mistakes in his game and his short passing might have been better, but from long passes he gave the ball away a lot. I know now you can look in selected issues, it might look good, but it weren't always like that. Also statistically, last season David Raya was a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale, did play a different role and hopefully they're adapting him to that role at Arsenal. I think that's what Arteta sees in him. Also he's a local countryman of him, so I think he admires him a lot. But the reason why David Raya's save percentage might be very low is because of the amount of shots that's going against him. He's not having them easy shots, he's literally getting 1 shot a game at him and it'll be like a really good goal, or he'll make a mistake and that is it. If Arsenal have against 5 shots on target against him in a game and he saves 4 of them, his percentage is going to go well up because it's from such a small sample size, because Arsenal don't concede many shots and the least amount in the league. And also that David Raya is better at the game at certain things than Ramsdale. He's from crosses, he is stopping around 12% of crosses this season, which is in the top 1% of goalkeepers in Europe. And his coming out of the box and closing down from just outside it is very good, and he's very quick, so his average distance behind the defensive actions is not that far, which is very high level for a good goalkeeper. And considering David Raya isn't the tallest goalkeeper out there, and he does struggle, especially at the start from corners, everyone was marking him from corners, he does really well to get up and get these crosses stopped. He's very good at catching the ball, he's much more calm than I think Ramsdale in them situations. And yeah, he is still a little bit of a liability from corners because of his height, and sometimes he does get crowded. That is going to happen against these top teams, and we've also not been the best defending corner team in the league. We can see a lot of stupid ones. And I think one of the big reasons why I was implemented is for the fact that Arsenal are very good on the counter. As much as we don't really get to counter very often anymore, I think from set pieces for the other team is a very good example of when we can. And Raya is often much more quicker than Ramsdale at catching the ball and distributing the ball out wide in a very good way. And obviously these are minor details, but this is what it is at the top of the game. These minor details do matter. Aaron Ramsdale is still a top goalkeeper, and he might be probably the same level as Raya overall, but on certain aspects that Arteta likes, he prefers Raya. Now, while this does answer why Arteta wanted Raya in the first place, this doesn't really answer is it worth it, because it is costing 30 mil, and that meant we couldn't buy anyone this January transfer window because of FFP. Now, while I don't think there was any necessarily good options out there and a lot of people are overpaying, 30 million on a minimal goalkeeper upgrade was necessarily not needed it when we still needed attacking depth and midfield depth, and more importantly probably defensive depth as well with the injuries we had. At the start of the season I thought it was worth it because I thought Raya was a considerable upgrade on Ramsdale, but considering his age and his performances this season, I still think he's a little bit of an upgrade on Ramsdale, but I don't necessarily think it's worth it. Surely he wouldn't have a better season than someone he's 4 years older than, so I'm not necessarily sure it was the right option to spend 30 million. When you maybe have that money left over or you sell someone, that's fair enough. And I know it is a loan, so it didn't really matter in that window, but FFP is going to catch up this January or this summer when we have to spend another 30 million on him. I also do feel bad for Ramsdale. He did very well for Arsenal and only got one Champions League game when we had already won the group. He needs more opportunities. He got us in that place in the first place, and it's a bit unfair, especially when we go out of the cup so easily because Arteta just doesn't care about them. Aaron Ramsdale should force the leave in the summer, and obviously I think we can get a lot of money for him. I still think he's probably the outstanding goalkeeper in England who's English. It is a shame to see how his career at Arsenal has gone. He proved everyone wrong and then kind of just got swayed to the side for someone that's minimally a bit better than him. And that does mean we need to look for another backup goalkeeper. If Raya gets injured or something happens to him, we're going to lose everything we want to. At least Ramsdale was used to the team and used to playing, and we could have used it. But now we'll have to get someone completely different and who's probably not anywhere near as good. Overall, it's a real shame to see this happen, but I understand Arteta's thinking, but I don't necessarily think it was worth it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please watch my preview of the Arsenal-Liverpool game, which will be on a few hours of upload of this video, so good luck to Arsenal and thank you for watching.